Hello family, I am Beth Marwa. Welcome to Minutes with Marwa, and in this space we are going to be hosting different people who will be telling us about their amazing stories. So watch this video till the end and let's get into it. Hello.
Hi.
It's nice having you in this space.
Oh, thank you.
In my space, I mean.
Oh, yes, thank you.
So can you tell us who you are and what you do for a living?
Well, my name is Teddy, and I am a graphic designer, passionately, and also corporately, also personally.
Okay.
Yes.
So how did you come up with your career? How did you start your career?
Well, do you have a minute?
I have a minute. We
Okay.
have minutes.
All right. Well, it actually started back in I started graphic design back in 2021.
Uh-huh.
And it started off through a friend
Yeah.
who was had a graphic design shop, but then this friend of mine, if I can mention the name, can I mention the name?
You can mention the
Well,
name.
her name is Mav. She had a shop, but then she was having difficulties with her shop.
Yeah.
So she was employing graphic designers, but then they would end up like not working. So she used to have that on and off relationship with her workers.
Yeah.
So oftentimes I would see her shop closed. So one day I decided to like go and ask her why she's always closing the shop. Well, at that time, I was actually working at a car wash. Yes,
Wow.
I was working at a car wash,
Uh-huh.
but then I was so much fed up working at the car wash,
Yeah.
because I know that I really do have this innate ability, innate love for computers and all that.
Yeah.
But then I saw that she was having this on and off with her business, so
Yeah.
I went and I asked her, "Hey, Mav, I normally see you closing this shop almost all the time. What's up with that?" So she told me like, Teddy, I bring a graphic designer here and then we don't work out and then they leave. So I am deciding to close it up. So
Wow.
I asked her, why don't you teach me? Why don't you teach me what you do here? Because it was a graphic design stroke branding shop.
Yeah.
You know, like t-shirts and all this merchandising. So I told her to teach me. And then she said, you know what? It's very funny because I was actually seated here waiting for a graphic designer to come and interview. But then the funny thing is that this designer all of a sudden closed, all of a sudden their phone went off.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to reach them, but all I'm finding is mteja, you know? So I've been wanting to get up and go because I'm fed up, but then something just keeps me here seated.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know how you came. I think God led you here. But you know what? I'm actually going to give you a chance. So that business was something she did part-time, you know. It was just kind of like a side business.
Yeah.
Because she's a doctor. So she told me, hey, you know what? I'm actually going to teach you. So how much do you want me to pay you? So she asked me that, and I was like, first of all, I'm learning this thing. I told her, you know, you're teaching me, so whatever amount you want to pay me, I'm okay with it. You know, so she
Yeah.
told me, you know what, Teddy, I'm going to pay you 5,000 and I'm going to teach you. I was okay with that because I was so much fed up.
Was 5,000 going to pay your bills?
Oh, no.
You was just excited about learning.
At that time, I was just excited of getting out of the car wash.
Yeah.
That was, first of all, one thing that I was so excited about, coming out of the car wash and also doing something I love. Computers is something I love, you know. And I was super excited of this new industry of graphic design. So I was like, you know, what's it about? So I was, yeah, you know what? Yes. So she told me she's going to pay me 5,000. I wasn't actually, the money wasn't it for me.
Yeah.
It was to learn, you know. So we agreed. And she told me, hey, you know what? Here's the keys. You come show up on Monday. And that is how I got into graphic design.
Yeah.
But she didn't teach me anything because she was opening the shop so like a few times in a month. So she had no time to teach me. If she could not be opening, if she could not open the shop prior of me coming there, like there's no way she would have taught me. So I learned through YouTube.
Wow.
It was just purely through YouTube and the passion that I had because I really wanted to learn. Well, I went there, YouTube, School of University, and I learned graphic design.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So guys, you can see like this is so great, like someone who is coming out from a background where there is no skill inside him about graphic, about any skill about computers. So I would like to know like what grew your passion into computer skills? Like how did you come up with this passion that you really wanted to do this thing in this field?
Well,
do you have anyone like you always saw and thought like this is the person that I would like to become in future?
Actually, I can only say that was just God driven because okay, I used to have this, you see how they normally ask you, what's your talent? And back in kindergarten or probably maybe back in pre-unit when they used to ask us, what's your talent? I'd be like, oh, what's my talent? But as I grew up, people kept telling me that, hey, Teddy, you really have a knack for detail. I don't know. And at that time when they're telling me that, I don't understand what they really mean because I'd be like, what do you mean a keen knack to detail? Because every time they would notice me noticing something that was so small and minute that they would not have noticed themselves unless I had pointed it out. So I have done that several times actually in my life, and I've seen people point out that thing, of which for me, it appears so automatic, so natural. And I didn't know that was something that God would use for me to get into graphic design, because you know, graphic design requires you to really have an eye.
You have to
for
be
this.
creative.
Yes, you have to have an eye for the littlest thing, the smallest, minutest thing that anybody would just bypass. You would really need that eye so that you can come up with something that is unique, something that, you know, like how small things can join up to form a huge thing, you know. So that for me was something that was born inside. It was a creative knack inside of me to just look at little details and come up with something huge. So I think that drew the passion for me to love graphic design, because the moment I started learning graphic design, I felt like I came alive.
Wow.
I felt like something inside of me has been, you know,
awakened.
kind of awakened. Yes, that's the word. Something inside of me had been awakened, and I fell in love. You see how they normally say love at first sight? For me, that was love at first. Drawing.
So would you say that was the first love of your life?
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure.
So you really love what you're doing?
I really love what I'm doing because, you know, first of all, I'm actually earning from it. I'm doing it corporately, and I have had feedback from most of my clients, and they're like, I love it. I mean, I love it. Yeah.
So I am interested to ask this question.
Okay.
So now you are in this shop.
Yes.
With no skills.
Okay.
Just YouTube.
Right.
Wow. That's crazy, yeah?
Oh, yeah,
because
definitely.
Now you are getting employment, and through this employment you're going to get earnings, and these earnings you don't have any skills.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, I'm interested. Can you tell us about now the journey from now you having this employment into where you are?
Well, since I started at Mav Graphics, the lady Mav, so it didn't really go off, you know, well as expected. But I at that time I mean, in hindsight, right now, looking at it back, I can just see the fingerprints of God working in my life. I don't know how He was working in her life, but I can definitely look at it back from my own perspective. I can see how God was working through her business to give me this gift that I have now.
Yeah.
Well, fast forward back from 2021 all the way to right here. I came. Yeah, that was Nakuru, by the way. And then now last year I moved from Nakuru to Nairobi. And I first went, I lived in Kitisuru. I didn't know what I didn't know what to do. It was so new. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any employment. I tried seeking employment, seeking, companies to just employ me. But then I just couldn't find it. And I every time I'd go for interviews, but then there was nothing. I kept wondering, what is happening? I started asking God, like, what is it? What's happening? And I really heard God tell me, Teddy, I don't want you employed.
Wow.
I want you to employ yourself.
Wow.
I was like taken aback, like, okay, all right, that's nice.
That's so
But
unique.
then I was super excited to hear that he wants me to employ myself, to a point that I never asked him what he wants me to do. So I started figuring out, okay, let me now start think about a business that I'm going to do. I didn't know God wanted to lead me in the direction of graphic design.
Yeah.
So I went, so I moved from Kitisuru, I came to Ruaka, but then I opened like a shop somewhere here, ya kuuza nguo. But then it failed miserably. Failed miserably. Yeah, just around here in Ruaka. I was selling clothes for myself.
It was not
It was not happening. It was
Nobody
just not.
was walking in to buy anything.
I went back to God, crying to him, like, God, what's happening? I mean, because I'm seeing people like flocking other businesses around me, but then nobody's coming to my shop to buy any clothes. So I cried to God, and he told me, Teddy, did I really send you there?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, all right, my bad. Tell me, what do you really want me to do? So he told me, Teddy, I gave you a gift. What have you been doing with it? I was like, you gave me a gift, you gave me a gift. Oh, graphic design. I was like, oh, my bad. I'm so sorry, God. Forgive me. I was so excited. And now I think let's go back now to the drawing board. So I went and I took all those clothes that I was trying to sell. I gave them back to my mom. And now, Sasa, that was when this year was beginning.
Wait, so you gave out to your mom to sell or to give away?
That was my mom's idea, by the way, to start that business.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, so I told her, hey, this business, it didn't work. Just take your stuff. So yes, so that was the beginning of this year. I told God, you know what? I am diving into whatever this is. I know it's just blind faith.
Amen.
I don't know how this is really going to work, but I'm just going to trust that this is really going to give me food and it's going to pay my bills.
You don't know how,
yes,
but it's going to work.
But it's going to work. So I had that crazy faith. So I just stepped out. And now I remember God telling me, start advertising your work. And then I was like, okay,
tell us about that.
Excited. So I went out, I printed some of my business cards and all that. And then I started going around looking at businesses that haven't been branded yet. So I went and I started asking for work. Hey, I'll be like, hey, I'm a graphic designer. I do branding, I do graphic design. So I can really brand your shop like this and like that. So it'd be like, okay, wow, have you ever done some of this work? I was like, yeah, let me show you. So I would show them my portfolio and I actually went around with my portfolio.
Yeah.
So I started showing them my portfolio and they were like, oh, that's good work. So I need this shop done this and done like that and done like this. And so that would be the first customer. I would go to the next one. I would see that they haven't done any design.
Yeah.
I'd tell them. So I kept on going like this, and then they would all just take my number, but then nobody would give me any work.
Any call.
I would see like nobody. They would all be telling me, you know what, we'll call you. You know what, we'll call you. Several customers telling me the same thing.
You have obeyed God's command.
Yes, I'm doing it out of obedience.
But now you are doing it. You are in the field. You are advertising yourself, but nothing is working.
Nothing is working.
No call back.
I'm wondering, like, God, did I really hear you well? You did tell me to go and advertise myself, and I did. I went and advertised myself, but then nobody's giving me a call.
Did I miss anything?
I know, that was crazy. But then looking back right now, I could not, at that time, I couldn't understand. But then now I see it clearly. Okay, because this is what happened.
Yeah.
At that time, I was living with a friend I picked up somewhere along the way. And this friend of mine, we were living together. And then now I had this MacBook that God had given. No, let me not use the quotes because it was really God that had given me that MacBook. Was a very nice machine. So when he asked me, Teddy, I gave you a gift and I provided for you.
You have the resources.
Yeah, you have the resources, you have the gift, you have the talent, you have everything. What have you been doing with it? So I hadn't been doing it. Anyway, so this friend of mine, one day I come and then I find that he stole everything. And that was after God had given me the assignment to go out and advertise. I come back home, I find that this friend of mine had stolen everything, including the MacBook. I know. And
MacBook.
I was like, God, you did tell me to go out and ask for clients. But then how am I coming back home and find that the only machine that I've used for
gone.
Graphic design is gone? What do I do with that? I was devastated. But then in that moment of sorrow, calls started coming in.
Wow.
I was like, are you serious?
Tell us about that.
I would take a call. She would tell me, hey, you gave me a number a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I want the design done. And then I would end the call, and then I'd get another one.
Yeah.
And then I would end that one, and then I would get another one.
Ooh.
And then these calls kept coming in, and then I started wondering, God, what do I do? What do I do? I don't have a machine. What do I do? So I went to my group church, my CLG small group. I went there and I told them, hey guys, man, say, you know how my laptop got lost, and now I have these clients coming in and I don't have a laptop. Can anyone lend me a laptop? And then there was one that said, hey, you know what? I have had this laptop that I've really wanted to sell, but then I haven't found the time to sell.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think God wants me to give it to you.
Wow.
So let me give it to you. So that person gave me that laptop. Her name is Karemi. Shout out to Karemi.
So this girl did not even let you pay anything?
No. She just gave me a laptop. She told me, Teddy, I have a laptop at home. Just sit it there, collecting dust. Let me give it to you. So she gave it to me.
You have a client? You have a laptop?
I have clients.
Oh, clients.
I have clients.
Wow.
And I have a laptop. Well, it was working just fine. I started work, and at that time when I was really going through that deep sorrow and deep troubled moments of just losing all my good things, God comforted me. He comforted me through clients, showing me that, Teddy, I got your back. I saw this coming and I still got your back.
I've always been with you.
Well, I started with those clients and well, here I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is a very, very interesting story.
Right.
Guys, I told you, Minutes with Beth, it's going to be amazing. So now you are doing graphic design as a career.
Yes.
You are earning from it.
Oh, yes.
So apart from graphic designing, what else could you be? If do you even sit down and think like, if I was not this person, what else career could I pursue?
That's very interesting because I have never thought of it like that.
You have not?
I have not thought of it. I used to just be this kind of freelancing kind of a guy who just flows with life. I try one thing, I try another.
It does not
but
work.
Then I used to always think of myself as a jack of all trades. But then now I can rethink that because business is not my jack.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not my trade. But selling, in terms of selling clothes, I mean, that I've already ruled it out. But I can say graphic design is business-wise, that one works for me. I don't think I'd have been anything else. I don't have anything else in mind that I would have become. You know, like, you know, we were, as kids, we were told, what do you want to become? Oh, a doctor or a surgeon or anything.
Big
I don't know what I
careers,
really wanted to become, but I know for sure that right now, graphic design works so well for me. At the moment, I don't know what else God has in store for me, but for sure now,
that's what you're doing.
Now it's working just fine.
So your career started with God?
It started with God. And
it's like now, whatever path, this path that you are in, it's a prophecy from God.
Oh, definitely.
So tell us about now the prophecy, how God has delivered. And is it true that God delivers in time?
Yes, I can say for sure that He does deliver in time and on time. It's never late, it's never early. I mean, we all hear that and it's kind of like cliche, but it's never cliche.
Yeah.
It's only until you walk with God so much step in step that you get to see Him work on your life. I mean, now I have an office.
Wow.
Now I have an office. It's something that I had seen it in the back of my mind. But actualizing it had never been an actual plan for me. I never saw how I would come to own an office.
Implementing
but then now,
it was just a dream.
yes. Now I have an office in town.
Wow.
I look at myself, I'm like, wow, I have really come so far. And now I can only say that it was just God. Even now, the time that He delivered that office to me, it was purely out of divine time. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story with us.
You're welcome.
It has been really interesting. I know you guys, you have learned 1, 2, 3. I know it is not just a story based on our physical walk in this world, but it is a story that is involving God inside. And I know, like, through everything you do, there's spiritual aspect in it. You just have to be very careful with what you do and how you follow this journey in this earth. So guys, it was nice having you. I'm sure that you have watched this video till the end, and make sure you subscribe, like, share, and thank you. See you next time. Bye.